Hey, hello, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. It's Only Oracle here today with a pick a card reading. Hi, you guys, how are you doing? Are you feeling well? Are you feeling up to it? I recently took a little media detox. By media detox, I mean I had one day without my phone, but that one day brought plenty of clarity and just helped to realign me. So I do recommend, as much as everyone loves their phone and technology connects us all, that sometimes disconnecting can help you feel more connected to the universe, if that's not too woo-woo, you know? So today I had this amazing question of where you belong. So we know loneliness kills, and it's a very big thing nowadays, and I feel like a lot of people feel there is no place that they belong, but I don't believe that to be true. I think we all have a place that we belong because we're all part of this earth. And so today we're going to look at where you might belong. It might be something you've never thought of, a place you never thought of, a career you never thought of. Probably not, but maybe, you know? So we're going to take the plunge and take a look. So I'm going to pop some crystals on. Generally, I don't use crystals, but for today's reading, that worked out perfectly. Wow. I am. So take a second, see which pile calls to you, and then when you're ready, you can jump to the timestamp in the description box, and I will see you at your reading. Bye. Okay, hello pile 1. If you picked the Exorcist card and this crystal, the black obsidian, then this is going to be your reading. So I perfectly line these up. Trust me, it was not intentional. I'm not well versed in crystals, but I do know a little bit about obsidian, and it is the protector of psychic attacks. And you also have Exorcist. So for you pile 1, right away, where you belong, you are in the spiritual community. If you didn't want to be, sorry baby, that's where you belong. This is something, a gift you have. I think you may be someone who has either seen spirits or dealt with things outside of the logical mind, if that makes any sense. So there are things that are logical that you see growing up that make sense and confirm our reality to being as what we think it is. I think you've seen things outside of that, things that may have terrified you. You may have seen ghosts, you may have felt ghosts, you may have felt presence, you may see auras. There are tons of things. You could hear things. You could struggle with, I don't know, schizophrenia. There are tons of things, but it's as if you are connected to a realm that is higher or a different vibration than most of us live on. So let's take a look. We're going to see who. I've sort of split this reading up into the who, what, when, where, you know, kind of why. And we're going to start with who. So who do you belong with? And this could be family, this could be friends. I'm looking more at friendships, but it could be anyone. Yep. Okay, so we have the moon card. So where you belong is with people who have gone through either similar experiences, I feel, or who have an understanding of this world that you live in. And these aren't going to be your run-of-the-mill people, right? This isn't your average doctor or lawyer or Joe walking down the street. These are people who are tapped into a frequency that many will live their whole lives not even knowing it exists. It's funny because it's sort of like eyesight, how if you've had blurry eyes your whole life, it's not until you get something like LASIK or glasses that you realize there's a whole crisp world out there. That is what I feel like your experience is. It's as if you're seeing 20/20, but the people around you only see 15 out of 20, you know? And so you need people who have the same eyesight as you. You need people who see the world the way you do. And I do feel that the people you're looking for are in a spiritual community. Now, this could be a religion if you are religious. This could be just tarot. This could be astrology. This could be, I mean, I don't want you getting into any cults, so be careful. You know, this could be a Eastern philosophy, a Western philosophy, but you'll need people who are opened up to the higher realms. And I think you'll find with spirituality, that's where people allow themselves to be opened up to that higher realm, to a realm where we don't yet have comprehension. And that's not to say that you can't get along with people who aren't, but it's just they're not going to understand some of the things that you've been through. So that's the who. Okay. So now we're looking at the what. And I think you will work together. You guys will get new ideas together. I think you may be someone who starts your own business. You have your own venture, doing a new, it'll be a new beginning for you once you meet these people and you get into this community. You may already be well embedded in this community, or you are beginning to be based off of you being on this pick-a-card. I mean, you're not on a pick-a-card unless you're somewhat in the spiritual community. You may have some hesitancies towards it because of some own personal things. I see a lot of personal demons that you have to deal with on a daily basis. So there could be a lot of fear, but you will find that going into this, finding other people, I think, yes, I'm feeling for you, pile number one. You're going to have to find people first to support you through this transition. So part of being in the spiritual community for you is not just it being a one-way mirror, you know, where, for instance, you're on this pick-a-card, but you can't necessarily speak back to me. It would be like you'd have to comment on this and then I'd have to comment back. I think you have to have a two-way street where it's not just you being aware of the spiritual or the spiritual being aware of you. You actually have to open the lines of communication. Okay? And this is going to bring a new beginning for you, a very potentially lucrative, successful financial business. And I do think you'll be working with people. I just get the feeling you're going to be working with people who understand some of the things you've been through. Yeah. I sense a lot of fear. Pile one, I sense a lot of fear. I don't know, maybe you grew up in a very religious community and so spirituality has been looked at or demonized. There could be lots of things as to why you fear this side. I mean, it's scary. It's scary. I'm not here to tell you there's not dangerous things in this community, because I'm a firm believer that anything that could be done for the highest good can also be used for the deepest amounts of evil. So you do have to be very careful. But this is where you belong. Like, you have something to offer here that other people can't offer. Your light attribute for Exorcist is freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. I think you understand, yes, I'm getting shivers, you understand this, the illogical. For instance, things like emotions. Emotions are viewed as almost illogical if you're not looking from it at an anthropologist point of perspective where it's geared towards survival. They don't always make sense. They're not logical. They don't have exact rhyme or reason. That's why they're emotions. They're instinctive. And a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand their own emotions. You're someone who could help people understand their own emotions, understand this world around them, understand a deeper realm. There may be people getting spiritually attacked or, dealing with evil and spirits, and you would be almost like the person to help purge that. I weirdly am drawn, maybe you really like horror movies, because I'm being drawn to, I think it's Insidious, Lorraine Brown or whatever, where she's the one who like goes in and helps you get rid of these spirits or whatever. You could do something like that. I know it seems crazy and maybe you're thinking like, okay, that sounds woo-woo, like, are you insane? But because I personally have never experienced, well, okay, let's not go into what I've personally experienced, but I know that there are things that even I don't understand, and I think you have a grasp on those. Like, you understand those, you've experienced them firsthand, and you have the determination, this Nine of Wands, you have the faith, the inner strength to go through it. I've heard before, they say, if you believe in God, you don't have to take this super to heart, okay? Because I know some people are touchy about religion versus spirituality and all that, so however it resonates, take it. But there's a saying that God gives his toughest battles to his strongest warriors. You would be one of the strongest warriors. That's why you have to deal with the hardest things. And is it fair? No. But to be honest, I'm gonna have to break one to you. The world isn't fair. And I see a lot of good that you can do in this world. There's a lot of ways that you can help people. I also get weirdly like Doctor Strange, the ancient one. You have that kind of energy. Yeah. Very enlightened, very ahead. in touch with things that it will take probably science thousands of more years to figure out. Not to say science can't catch up one day, but there are some things that, there are a lot of natural things in this world that can't be explained. And then science eventually finds the logical explanation for it, but these things existed far before that. So is their existence reliant on the fact of its verification, if you understand what I'm saying? You know, you don't always have to have something verified or a logical laid out explanation for something to exist. Sometimes things just are. And I'm not saying one day you won't find the explanation, but maybe at this point in time there isn't one, and you have to almost get comfortable with that idea. And I see that here with the Hangman, with enlightenment, is getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. That's where you belong, is unfortunately in the uncomfortable, but you'll be comfortable in it. Does that make any sense? So I do see you doing spiritual work. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to mean that you have like a spiritual channel or anything like that, though many of you will. But the spiritual work just calls to you, and there's lots of ways you could do this. I see nonprofits, I see helping people, but helping people is at the core of this. Helping with people who deal with the same things that you deal with, and justice. Yeah, I think it's something about making people feel like they're not crazy, you know, because a lot of people experience spiritual things, occurrences, instances, and they have to find ways to put a spin of logic on it, or they have to just deny it outright, or they literally are told they're crazy, or they go crazy. I think you're the justice person to say, like, you're not crazy. You're not crazy for going through that. Let's work through it. You know, you're that person. You're freeing people. It's not that you're freeing people from logic, but you're freeing people from the trappings of logic where logic does not apply yet, if it will ever apply at all. That's what I feel. So justice is definitely, yeah, you belong. I just see you acknowledging the pain or the struggles that people gone through because you've gone through the same things. I don't know what you went through. Like, I don't know if you had some crazy spiritual attacks or experiences, or maybe you had premonitions or weird stuff. You're not your average person, pile number one, and you've not experienced the average thing. I have goosebumps. There are like traumas and things that you have dealt with that are far beyond what most normal people would handle, you know? Yeah. See, I see you finding also maybe a romantic partner who will assist you in your work, who also, whether they've gone through the same things or not, they support and they understand what you've gone through. Understanding is a big part of this. Yeah, I feel that strongly. So let's get a little bit about the where. Okay, so I think the where is wherever you've kind of dreamt of going. I feel like this is a double-edged sword. I think the where for you is dependent on where you find your people. So you may be someone who has to go through quite a few travels or places or almost different platforms, maybe online, before you find your community, you know, but you will find them. For some of you, they will be online. They won't necessarily be where you are, and maybe you'll move to where they are because, you know, that's your community. But I do feel like you may not get them on the first try. So it's a trial and error thing. Unfortunately, it's not like you're just going to, okay, I've decided, like, I'm going to be in the spiritual community, and you make friends, and the first 5 people are all good people. You know, you kind of will probably have to weed out quite a few people until you find the genuine ones who actually understand your work, understand the things you've been through, understand the side of spirituality that you experience and view before you are settled down with them. But from there, I think you may move to be closer to them because they're your tribe. And I feel like wherever they are will work out. Part of it is that wherever they are is where you've always wanted to be. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I have a feeling with that. Where they are is where you've always wanted to be. So, for instance, say you've always wanted to live in Beijing, China. I don't know. But you've always wanted to live in Beijing, China. And you didn't want to just go, but you've been looking for support. And then all of a sudden you meet your soul tribe, and it's a girl from Beijing, China. And you decide, okay, well, I'm going to move there, and we'll work together, and we'll figure it out. I get an energy of you'll just have to kind of flow with it and figure it out. The location is not as set because it's dependent on the people. Because who you are around is very important for you, pile number one. You may also, I get empaths, so you have a strong emotional radar that at times when you're young can feel like a weakness, but I do feel like if you're not there yet, you will get to a point where you will understand your emotions, and they won't be your punishers. They'll be the thing that helps you assist other people. Yeah, you've been dreaming about where you want to go. I think you know all of this. Obviously, you're very intuitive. I know it's annoying to kind of go on pick-a-card readings and then have tarot readers say, oh, you're so intuitive, but, like, you wouldn't be on a pick-a-card reading if you weren't, you know? So, yeah, you deal with the darker stuff. I'm not going to lie. You deal with the darker stuff, helping people get through that, helping guide them through that. I keep being drawn back to Insidious and that woman who went through and, like, would go into the dream. I don't even know what she did, but I know that she helped people, and she would help a lot of them, and only she had a gift. Like, she was capable of it. And I think that's what you have to realize is your gifts, depending on the situation, I say this often because I find it to be so true, your gifts can feel like curses. Things for the highest good can be used for the highest evil. This is a gift of yours, but I feel oftentimes it feels like a curse. I know. I don't know, but I'm getting the sense of. And it is not. It is a gift. We've given this to you to free, because you have to look at the light attribute. Not only do you free others from destructive impulses, but you also free yourself. So, yes. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I get the sense that you will, and King of Cups in reverse. Okay, so we had the Hermit upright, 8 of Cups upright, and the King of Cups in reverse. Yeah, I feel you're someone who has been haunted by their demons before. Haunted would be the word. And it's almost like you've learned to ignore them, you know? It's not like it's... Okay, so for some of you, if you are younger and you're not as experienced in the spiritual realm, I don't know how deep into this you are, how much into spirituality or religion or whatever, you know, the more esoteric knowledge and wisdom of life you're into, mysticism and whatnot, but some of you have not faced your own demons. You've kind of just pretended they're not there or you hide from them. Others of you have learned how to almost, I feel like, coexist with your demons, and it makes it a lot easier for you. It's a justice, it's a balance. You realize that some of, how do I put this? They're like external and internal things, and it's like so much of this is stuff that is difficult to explain, but let me try my best here, okay? And feel free to pop off in the comments, add more, subtract from it, whatever, correct. But I feel like some demons are almost internal, where they are something it's almost like trauma from past lives or previous experiences that we have to work through. They're almost of our own making, in a sense, if you can call it that. And then there are others that are just straight up like external things put onto us that we've almost have attached themselves to us. And it's almost as if it's your job, and each of our jobs in our lifetime, to figure out which one belongs to us or which are our own that we have to work through, and then which are things that people have tried to attach onto us. And I don't think that's easy to figure out which one. A lot of times we just end up rejecting all of it altogether, but your job is to sit in the uncomfortable. Tough stuff, man. Tough stuff. I mean, it's not a tough break because I feel like, not to say you were born to do this, but in some ways you were born to do this, but that doesn't make it less uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make it less not nice to deal with. So yeah. Anything else I am seeing? I do feel like this is something that if you're in your 20s, it'll happen in your 20s. If you're younger, I mean, like you're still in high school, you're under 18, you're going to spend the first part of your life working through that's how it always goes. I mean, in the first part of your life, you have to figure out your own demons. You have to figure out yourself, because you were just put into this world and thrown a lot of things into your head, and you have to figure out what's yours and what's not and figure it all out. And then once you figure it out, you'll help other people do the same. So yeah, see, you're a communication piece between realms. That's crazy. And ooh, I like that. Okay, hang on, we'll get to these cards. And that is a difficult thing. I feel strong Libra energy because Libra came in twice, so I don't know, you may have, if you don't have Libra in like your Sun, Moon, Rising or something, somewhere prominent in your chart, I'm feeling it may be in your 4th, 8th, or 12th houses, which are your water houses. Anyway, so, you are the communication piece for people to work through these things, okay? Like I said, something about you is, you say to people, I understand. You say to people, I've been through that too, let me help you through this. Yeah, I hear that in your voice. I understand. I've been through this too. I'm going to help you. Okay? That's what you do. And your services, what you provide, cannot be undervalued in any way, shape, or form. I mean, really, there's no monetary value you can put on what you do, but for the sake of, unfortunately, the society we live in life, you normally have to put a dollar tag on it in order to pay for your food and blah, 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 and how our system works. But there's not really a price tag on the value of the work you do. It's invaluable, not invaluable. It's priceless in the best sense of the word. Yes. And new romantic cycle, I do feel you have like a partner. I do feel a partner. I told you partners before, but I feel like partners are strong. Like, you don't work alone, which is good, because even with the Gemini, the two twins, I think it'd be difficult for you to work alone. Whether you work strictly with your spiritual team, or you have a romantic partner, or you have a friendship, I don't see you working alone. I see you having someone with you. I think it's really good, because with everything you deal with, sometimes you need someone to bring you back to this reality, for better lack of a better word, this reality, you need someone to bring you back. So yeah, and you are good enough. I think you may fear that you don't have what it takes. Either you don't have what it takes, you're too weak, or maybe you don't understand enough, or are you right, or is this all just a farce? And the answer is no, as in, no, it's not all a farce. Yes, you are good enough. Yes, the things you've experienced are real and valid, and you're not crazy, and many other people around the world struggle and experience the same things you did, or have, or are currently experiencing, and they're gonna need your help. But I think it's knowing that you, like I said, you were chosen for this because you're strong enough for it. Does that make it right or better? No, but I feel like you will find your happiness in this, because it's almost like by helping others, you help yourself too. Not to say you should always help yourself, first, put on your mask before someone else's, but by helping other people, it also helps heal you in its own sense. So yeah, that's where you belong, at least as far as this says. Again, you don't have to take any of this. This is by no means unchallengeable or unchangeable or what you absolutely must have to do, but I'm just seeing something that may work for you. There is a very heavy energy surrounding you, Pile 1. And I do feel like helping people almost lightens that a little bit, because it's like, if you're going through all this, what are you going through all of this for? I feel that energy. Like, what am I going through all of this for? If not to do something, if not to become something. Otherwise, why do I have to suffer in the way I've suffered, or I continue to suffer? Pile 1, I don't have the answer. I'm sorry. I feel like you're more likely to have the answer than I would, but I don't know a lot, but I like to think that there's a purpose to some of the things we go through, no matter how difficult they may seem. But I just want to get a career card here for you real quick, and then I think I am going to end this reading. Yeah. You may want to, I'm getting shivers. You may want to pray, or build an altar or something. I feel like if you, I'm getting so many shivers. Pile 1, I feel like if you pray and you ask God, or you ask your angels, or you ask your spiritual team, or whoever you pray to, or Ganesh, whoever you have in your beliefs, your system, if you ask them why, I feel like crying, but I feel like they are going to give you an answer. They're not going to leave you hanging. Am I reading that correctly? Yeah, I'm feeling a resounding yes. If you ask them, if you say why? And it's a valid question to ask, because if we're being thrown into battle, if we're being told to put on our helmets and go through the worst of hell, the least we could do is know why, And sometimes we don't, but also sometimes we don't ask, we just keep going. And so it may be worth it to you to ask and kind of seek that connection to figure out why you're going through this. Anything else? You see, spiritual teacher, I can't make this crap up. I'm not doing this. You see me, right? You're watching this live. I'm not doing this. I'm not secretly spooking around cards to make it out. Spiritual teacher, you are in this wherever it is that resonates with your soul, okay? Because we all find different callings in different places, whether that be just strictly tarot or astrology or, Hinduism or Jainism or Buddhism, or maybe you decide to convert to Islam. Whatever it is for you, okay? It can be whatever it is for you. But you're going to be a spiritual teacher. This is where you're needed. This is where you're guided to be. So that's all I have for you, Pile 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it helps clarify some things for you. If you've thought about being a spiritual teacher and doing your own channel, or creating your own page or something, or going to school for ministry or whatever it is, I think this might be a confirmation for you that yes, that is indeed where you're going to belong, and you're going to feel I feel the most at peace with everything you've gone, as at peace as you can actually go through what you've gone through, but you know. So yeah, that is all I have for you, pile 1. If you enjoyed this reading, comment down below if it resonated, if you have things, if you know what I'm talking about, because you should know what I'm talking about, because it seems like you're very deep into this stuff. Probably you have more knowledge than I do, so I don't know why you're taking advice from me. I'm just a girl with some cards. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one, pile 1. Bye. Okay, hello pile 2. If you chose this lapis lazuli, then this is going to be your reading. So I love lapis lazuli. It's actually one of my favorite stones, and it is incredibly powerful. It represents truth, communication, clarity. So wow, 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 what a wonderful stone to pick, and what a wonderful card to pick, Child Divine. So we are going to be looking at where you belong. I didn't preface this in pile 1, but I'll do it for you, pile 2. This reading is not unchallengeable or unchangeable, meaning this is what I'm hearing right now for where you belong. If you feel you belong somewhere differently, follow that. Tarot card readings, pick a card readings are by no means dogmatic. We by no means determine your future, and by that I mean you don't have to follow the advice in a pick a card. In fact, I highly recommend that you don't always follow the advice in pick a cards, because sometimes these are something maybe that you need to hear, but just because you need to hear it doesn't mean it's the right answer for you. If that makes any sense, I hope it does. So let's get into this. Where you belong. You belong somewhere that makes you happy, okay? You got Child Divine. Innocence, purity, redemption, suggests a special connection with the divine. You belong in lighthearted energy, okay? We're going to take a look at the who, what, when, all that good stuff, but we're going to look at the who first. So actually, for you, I feel like it's the where first. So let's go to where. Okay. That's interesting. For pile 1, it was the who that mattered. For you, I feel it is the where and the what. So when I say where, it's the location. Where you're going to be at is how you're going to find where you belong, and what you're doing helps you find where you belong. They had the idealist too in the last pile. Okay, Libra, idealist, and 4 roots. Whenever I get the idealist card and this Libra card, I do feel you already have a sense of where you'd like to go. You already have a sense of either the cities, whether you want to be in a city or in the country, whether you want to be in an apartment or a house, or if you want to live overseas or in the, wherever you're from. And I think you will, you're someone who, yes, okay, got it. You're someone who needs stability in your life, okay? You need to have roots somewhere. You're not someone, I'm not saying you can't be a traveler. You can, but you need a place that is, I hear you need a resting place. You need a place that you can call your own. So for you, I feel like you need to find, yep, I'm getting shivers. You need to find your place. I don't know how much searching it'll take. It may not take any. You may already have an intuitive sense, because again, you already have a special connection with the divine, which to me suggests that you already know where you want to live or be. I think once you get there, you should set down some roots. So I recommend test trialing it, but with how you are, you may not need to. You may already know. And when you get there, you're going to want to buy a house, buy some land, buy something that belongs to you, and have that be your base. Whether that's just even in that city, you have a, like, what do they have? They have storage garages, I think, in cities where you can store all your stuff, because you need somewhere that you can set down your roots. I'm telling you, you need that. And it may even be just where your family's at. That's where you consider your roots, and so you just go travel, but you have roots with your family. But it's the place. You need a place. You need a place where you feel like you are safe and you belong. You need a place of security, wherever that is. And I think that's, the place is very important for you, okay? Pile 2, it's interesting, like I said, because for pile 1, the who was more important. The who they were with is what was going to make or break their experiences, but for you, it's where. And I think that part of that is you might be kind of a loner, or someone who has, you might have a lot of associates in life, but not many people who know you. And so I think your roots can even be your family roots, so maybe it's where your ancestors are from, or it could just be your family themselves, your actual family. Yeah, but there's a location. There's an actual location that will help you feel like you belong. So let's see the what. So what? Okay, 5 of Wands, 9 of Cups, the Hermit, and the King of Cups in reverse. Okay. as I try and make all of this fit. I'm going to just stick that on there. I'm like trying my best to make all this fit, you guys. Sorry. Wasting your time. No, I know, it's not a waste, but... Okay, so let's start with the Five of Wands. Yeah, I think you felt... I just keep getting the energy of feeling unsafe your whole life. Like the ground isn't stable underneath you. So, I don't know if you've had to shift home a lot. Maybe you were an army brat kid, or you just... Your parents didn't make a lot of money, so you had to move a lot, or you just... Something about your past feels very unsafe. And this is a what, but I think this is important because it informs your present for some reason. So let's just keep going. So we have the Nine of Cups. I think whatever you want to do... Okay, sorry, I was listening. Whatever you want to do is what you should do. I know that sucks because it's like, well, what if I don't know what I want to do? I'm also hearing you do know what you want to do. You may be scared to do it. You may not think you're good enough to do it, but you know what you want to do, pile 2. Yeah, so whatever you want to do is what you should do. That's what I hear for work. Whatever you enjoy doing, whatever you spend hours doing, whatever makes you joyous and happy. Again, especially with this innocence, the child divine, it's whatever makes you happy. And well, you know what makes you happy. It doesn't always have to be something extreme, I guess. Maybe you just really like making funny videos. Then make funny videos. I mean, it might not necessarily be your career at first, okay? It might take time to get there, because the Nine of Cups requires a growth, a process, but you will get there. So whatever you want to do, whatever you've always wanted, is what you should do, pile 2. It's that simple. And again, it may not be easy, it may not come right away, but it will come. And you know this. You know this. You have a soul calling. You know it. Why are we going through this right now? You know what it is. You know wherever field it's in. And of course, does feel creative. Many of these often do. Maybe you always want to be a painter. Maybe you love making art or something. But know that there's a niche to be made anywhere, and there is money to be made selling your stuff on Etsy, selling your stuff somewhere. But you need to follow that, whatever is your wish, whatever you enjoy doing. And it could be more than one thing, but is that right? Yeah, I hear there's one thing that is much more what you love than the rest. So while you may have lots of things you may enjoy, there's something that like you just like more than the others. And I think it'll bring you a sense of peace. Again, for you, I feel like location is very important. So you're going to be looking, rather than looking for exactly what you're doing, because I feel you already have the sense where you know what you want to do, and rather than looking for a person, you're going to be looking for a where. You're looking for a location. And I don't know, it might be with your family, it might not, it might be in a different country, it might not, but I also feel like you kind of have an idea of where it is, and you're going to want to set roots there. Yeah, go towards what makes you happy with this King of Cups in reverse. It'll be worth it to you. So let's see the who. Okay, so if the who for you, you little sensitive soul, I do get a very sensitive vibe for you, pile number 2. The who for you are people who support you and cheer you on. I think you in particular need a very supportive. You don't necessarily need people who are exactly like you, who understand everything about you. Some people need that, but I think for you, it's most important that you have support. People who support you. People who say, you're doing good, you're good enough, you're doing awesome, keep going, you got this. Encouraging feedback is what you need. And not people who just do it to placate you. Not people who just who talk out of their butt. Like, you don't need people flattering you. You do need honesty. I get that with Judgment in reverse. You do need honesty, but encouragement at the forefront of it. So, for instance, let's say you didn't make dinner very well. Instead of just saying this is awful, they'd be like, hey, you tried your best, this is pretty good, and, instead, why don't we just get takeout? Like, people who don't make you feel bad for your mistakes. I think that's it. People who don't judge you or make you feel bad for what you don't do well, because you might have felt judged a lot in life, or like you have judgmental people around you. So the where you belong is the people who don't do that, who are encouraging. And for a lot of you, this may be fans, because you have an audience here, so I said you were creative. Maybe you create art or something, and your fans are going to be the ones to be like, you'll put something out and you'll think, this isn't perfect, it's not good enough. And your fans are like, what are you talking about? This is amazing. This is the best thing that anyone's ever created ever, you know? It's that kind of support. I think it also helps that you ignore any of the potential negative comments that come, but I do feel overwhelmingly it will be support. People like, oh my God, that's so cool. You know, that movie you filmed was so cool, or that artwork you put out was so cool, or that book you wrote, or that poem you wrote, that was really good. I enjoyed that. And you have to put your stuff out there for people to see it. That's part of it. You can't hide it. You can't keep it behind you. You have to put it out so people can enjoy it, you know? All right, so where you belong, pile number 2. Let's see what else. Let's see the when of it. So what do we get so far? Because I feel like I talked a lot and I have no idea what I said. I just feel for you, it's that you work on things that you love. You work on things that are creative, passionate, that make you feel really good, that light you up inside, that you honestly lose track of time doing. And there is always something for everyone that they lose track of time doing. That's probably a good indicator that you really enjoy doing that thing. And then you have to find your place. And your place... Okay, we're going to talk about these in a second, but your place is... For a lot of you, maybe with your family, maybe in your ancestry line, your place... You need to have a place where you feel safe. That's the main thing, a sense of security. So your location is wherever you're going to feel the most secure. That's where you need to set down roots. Like I said, for you, I think you don't do better. Not that you can't be a traveler or go out, but you need a home base. You need a home base. It's very important for you. You're never going to feel grounded or secure or like you can do things if you don't have a sense of safety. And yes, safety in some ways is an illusion, but there are ways where you can feel more safe. So maybe you need a house that has a security system up, you know, or a soundproof walls, or whatever it is that makes you feel safe. That's what you need. And in terms of who to surround yourself with, or who is in your life, even if it's family, friends, whoever, you know, romantic partners, it's people who support you, people who clap for you, people who cheer you on, people who say, good job, you did the dang thing, and people who don't judge you harshly, but who are also truthful but supportive. You don't need people who just kiss your ass, pile 2, but you do need people who support you. So finally, we're looking at the when. I don't feel like you're here yet. No matter how old you are, you could be 60 watching this, but I just feel you're not here yet. And that's because you got some, how do I put this? You got some baggage you got to deal with. Some of it might have to do with your family life, how you grew up, your home life. But also you may just be attached to some really unhealthy habits. Yeah, really unhealthy work habits that you have, such as maybe you procrastinate, maybe you don't take constructive criticism well, so you just lash out at people, or you don't let anyone see your work because you're afraid of getting judged, lots of things. But I feel it around work with this devil card, because it also represents Capricorn, which is your career, your status. You have some unhealthy way of working or doing something that is keeping this from happening. You from feeling a sense of belonging. And it could be that you just don't put any of your work up because you don't want people to critique it, or you don't feel like it's good enough. I want to give you a news flash here. I know this isn't happy to say, but no one's work is ever going to be good enough, because when we judge ourselves, the standard we use is so astronomically, unbelievably high that you can't reach it. So I think you need to be unafraid to put out work that is unperfect. I think that's part of it. Unperfect, or almost finished, but not quite. You know, you don't have to be perfect. Plus, you practice and you learn. Part of learning and getting better is sometimes getting feedback to shape and change how your narrative. Because if it's just you all the time pushing your narrative, then you don't actually interact with the world and understand different things. Basically, expand your world. And so, what else? And so with the 5 of Cups, yeah, I think you have a tendency to be a little pessimistic, pile 2, despite you have an innocence, okay? You have a purity, you have a very good part, you have a very good heart, a very good core. That's why you like to create, that's why you like whatever innocent endeavor you want to pursue. But there is a part of you that, I think A, feels you're not good enough, but B, is like pessimistic and just focuses on what isn't good enough. So the when of this is when you stop doing those things. And I think it is a process, so it's not something that'll happen overnight. But I think you focus a lot on the hurt. You focus a lot on things that hurt you. Yeah. And it just makes you sadder, you know? And it's hard once you get used to it. Once you get used to focusing on pain, it's hard really to focus on anything else. I do feel a lot of this could be family or relationships, but I also feel like family and relationships is what is going to heal you. So it is the double-edged sword of something that both plunges into you, but also is the thing that stitches you up and makes you feel better. It's interesting. Do you have careers for pile number 2? Yep. Okay, it's so funny because in pile 1 I was like, I think you'd be a good spiritual teacher, and then spiritual teacher popped out. I told you you're creative. What fell out? Artist. I also feel like it's these 2 cards on the back, and we have study and books. Some of you may want to be a writer. Okay, that's a very big thing I get. Some of you may want to be a writer. What else? Wisdom. Some of you may want to be a designer, and you have to study. Some of you will have to actually go back to school to achieve what you want to achieve because you don't have enough knowledge right now. Yeah, with study and books. There is a... How do I put this? You already have an intuitive grasp of things, pile number 2, so let's just go back to the artist vibe. If you're an artist, you know, we have people who spray paint on the back of buildings and all this stuff, and so there is something to be said about natural talent. I think you have a fair level of natural talent, but even talent needs to be honed in with technicalities, I guess, because art is judged in a number of different ways. And when you start understanding these parameters of the creative pursuit you're in, you can work in them and both outside of them. Okay, it's not about learning the rules so you just follow the rules. It's learning the rules so then you know the rules, and if you choose to break the rules, it's out of choice and not an absent-minded mistake, if that makes sense. So for a lot of you, it does involve some level of schooling. Even for your creative pursuits, there is schooling. There is schooling for writing. Creative writing. There's schooling for art. You could be doing design. And I think you need to accept that maybe you need a little bit of studying. And you may not like studying because, again, you're a creative person, so a lot of you may have hated school, but you got to stop. I think part of it is you base your worth on the grade or the letter or the things that people said. When people said things weren't good, you took it as being personal. And in terms of career and work, I think you need to separate yourself from your art, because there is a piece of you in your art or in your work, in your books that you do, but it is not you. Let me repeat that again. There is a piece of you in your art, in your works, in the creative things that you do, but it is not you. You are separate from the art. Are you embedded in the art? Yes. Are you part of the art? Yes, but the art is not you. And if you put yourself into the art thinking you are the art, then every time someone says something negative about it, you are always going to feel like they're saying something negative about you. But they aren't, because when they see your art, they aren't thinking, oh, Trisha is the art. She's the art. If she made this piece of art and this art isn't good, then she's not good. That's not what people are thinking. They're thinking this piece of work could use something, or it needs something taken off, or it's too busy, or something like that. So you have to learn to separate yourself from your art. And that's a hard thing to do because you put a lot of your passion, your heart, and your soul in it. And I get that. I'm not saying that's wrong. But it's like, think of it like a child, okay? It's weird, but yeah, we're going back to it. If you give birth to a child, you are not your child. Okay, because you know this because you're not your mother, you're not your father, you grew up to be your own person, or you're growing up to be your own person. So then why would you think if you create this art and it's your baby that it is you? Does that seem right? Like, just think about that. Does that seem right or even fair to the art or to you? No, it doesn't. I feel like I'm shouting, so let me soften the tone a little bit. Sorry, Pio. 2, I just feel passionate because I feel you do have gifts. You have a very creative gift that you're almost denying because you're afraid of it not being good enough or being critiqued, but literally being critiqued is a part of life. And you don't always have to take in all of those judgments, because there's a true critique is aimed at improvement, pile 2, and not at destroying your self-esteem or your self-worth, okay? Because if someone just says up to you and says, your work is trash, that work is ugly, I hate your painting, it's stupid, that's not a critique. That's just being a hater. And honestly, they can go screw themselves. Forget about them. Now, if someone comes up to you and says, the line on your art, it's asymmetrical, and that doesn't, like, it looks a little off kilter, or it doesn't look professional keeping that crayon mark on it or something. that's a genuine critique, because next time you can go in and take out that crayon mark. Or maybe you did that intentionally. But the point is, all critique is not necessarily... Good critique is giving you a way that you can improve. If it's just saying something is bad, that's not a critique, that's just hate. And I think you need to learn to separate the two, because you keep them as one and the same. And part of going to school is that you get critiqued. They give you edits. They say, this is not good, but this is. This is why we think this is good, and this is why we don't. And that's not an attack on you, and that's what you have to learn to separate, Pile 2, because as long as you take that as being you, as being an emotional attack, as attacking you, you're never going to be able to improve your art, because it'll always be hidden behind closed doors because you're afraid of the judgment that comes with it. Okay? But yeah, you belong in the art fields, y'all. You belong right in your book, painting your thing, making your videos, whatever it is that is in the artistic field, you belong there. But I do feel like you may, and when it says study in books, this doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to university for it, or you have to get some crazy certificate for it. You just, maybe you just take an Udemy course or something, or an online course. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just be open to the idea of people seeing your stuff and helping you to improve it and cultivate it, so that way you're a better artist. And then if you like so much what you did before, you can just go back to doing that. Like, you don't have to listen to other people just because they give you their perspective. It just allows you to see that. And again, lapis lazuli is communication, so you gotta let that communication in and go both ways and not just one way. Okay? But yeah, that is all I have for you, Pile 2. If you enjoyed this reading, comment down below if it resonated. If you know what I'm talking about, where you get sensitive about your work, which who doesn't? I do too. I get it. I feel it. But you got to learn to, again, separate yourself from it, because I think that's the problem. Yeah, I'm hearing yeah. Like, you have a tendency to think it's you, and it's literally not you that they're talking about. Yeah, and then also, whatever family things going on here, there may be some family things you have to work through. Like I said, I just feel family is something strong here. Either you're going to need to live with your family support, or you're going to have to, like, create your own family. I don't know, but whatever is about family, I think you also know, so I don't really need to go too much into depth about it. But yeah, that's all I see for you, Pile number 2. Yeah, if you enjoyed the reading, comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, hello Pile 3. If you chose the Howlite, then this is going to be your reading. So, Howlite is a calming one that has harmony. I'll just read the card I have here. It says it aids to insomnia, especially when caused by an overactive mind. Formulates ambitions and aids in achieving them. Howlite strengthens memory and stimulates desire for knowledge. It teaches patience and helps us to eliminate rage, pain, and stress. Calms emotions, facilitates awareness, and encourages emotional expression, and is related to the crown chakra. Alright, and you also got dilettante, so it's funny that it says, especially when caused by an overactive mind. Hello, my overthinkers, my lovely Pile number 3. What are you thinking about right now? What were you thinking about before you clicked on this reading? If you were thinking about something very, very interesting, for instance, the philosophy of the universe, why humans don't eat ants, or why we do eat ants, comment down below, because I'm curious, my little smarty parties. So, Pile 1, where you belong. I think somewhere that utilizes your intelligence, for one. But let's see. I think for you... Okay. I hear for you it's the when. Yeah, look at this. You literally have 9 of swords and the 8 of cups. Do you know where you want to go? Where you belong already, Pile 3? I kind of get the sense that you do. You're more curious. I feel the most important question for you is when. And why it'll help you to be where you belong. So let's see the when. I feel like it's this card. Okay, I heard very clearly, and it's not funny, but it's kind of funny. It was like Spirit said, when you slow the fuck down. So, Pile 3, I think a big, look at this, the nine of swords again. You have this, I'm taking it out because it matters so much. And right underneath of that, the 8 of pentacles, crazy. Okay, we're taking that one too. I'm sorry, I feel like these cards are meant for you. Okay, Pile 3, so, where you belong, if you've been wondering, if you know where, or even if you don't, we started with the when of it because that seems the most important question for you, and that might be a question you have. Like, you think you know where you belong, you have an idea, or you want something, but you're just like, when? And Spirit was like, when you slow the down, that's when. Calm down. Calm down, Pile 3. You have a very overactive mind. Again, we said that. You have a lot of, you're very intelligent. Let's read your light attributes for dilettante. Or is it dilettante? I never know, but whatever. Delights in the arts without having to be a professional. Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. You have passion in everything. You like cooking, you like reading, you like drawing, and I think specifically the arts. So you're an arts, but you're the clearest sense of the word an artist. And an artist in the sense of you like all of it. You might really like movies, books, TV. You like to paint, you like to draw, you like to sing, you like to dance, you like to play instruments, you like to yodel. I don't know. You have all the interest in the world when it comes to the arts. And I think you just move a lot. I get very hyperactive, like this energy. Like you're like this, you're just going. And if you're trying to figure out where you belong or why you feel so alone or so anxious, it's because you don't slow the freak down. Slow down, breathe, take a breath. Okay? I feel like this is the dichotomy that needs to happen in your brain. This is you right now. You are represented by the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords is insomnia. Funny that this howlite helps aid insomnia. You might actually want to think about getting this stone and carrying it around. I'm going to put it actually right here on top. So you have... We can scoot this over even more. Sorry. You have the 9 of Swords to represent your energy. And I think you are anxious about getting where you belong, getting where you want to go, getting where you need to go. And I get it. But the thing about it is, like, worrying isn't going to get you anywhere. And I don't say that to minimize your worrying, but more so to say, like, focus on the task. Yeah, I hear this. Focus on the task at hand. You see this 8 of Pentacles here? Imagery is very important to you, and I think you're a very image-driven person, as am I, so I relate. But he's working on one, and he already has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 others, and he's working on one, he has 1 on the ground. Do you think he's looking at all the other 6 that he's finished or has yet to do? No, he's focused on the one. One thing at a time, Pile 3. One thing at a time, okay? It will all come together. And even if you're working on multiple, it's like when you're working on something, I'm hearing this. When you're working on something, Pile 3, work on it. Don't let your mind stray. Your mind has a habit of doing that because it's very overactive. Holy smokes, your third eye, your crown chakra, you're all types of out, all types of going. Wonderful, wonderful. But if you want to know where you belong or how to get there, you have to slow down, and you just need to focus on the process, on trusting the process, on taking it one step at a time. And when you're on each step, focus on that step. Don't look at the 200 more steps up the stairs. Don't look at the 5 ahead. The step. That's it. Just the step. Okay? You need to learn how to slow down your mind. You have a very, very overactive mind. Probably a crap ton of anxiety. And yeah, so the when of it. If you're wondering when, I hear it happens when you're not paying attention. It happens in your sleep. It happens when you just focus on the task at hand. You don't have to think so hard, Pile number 3, okay? That's the when of it, because I feel like that was very important for you. You may be currently, I feel for a lot of you, you're currently in the midst with this 8 of Pentacles coming out. You're in the midst of working on either something creative. You're in the midst of working in the arts or doing something, and you're wondering when. Like when. I think you know where you belong, but you want the when. You want to know when it's going to happen. Maybe you're like an actor and actress, and you've been, this is just an example, but maybe you've been going to auditions and trying and doing all this stuff, and you're like, when is it going to happen? This is your when, is when you calm the F down. When you calm down, you breathe, and you just work on one thing at a time. Going back to the actress example, for instance, you want to work in a big Hollywood movie. Okay, that's a great goal to have. Keep it, pin it, and then make your little vision board, because I feel like you're the type to make a vision board, no judgment. I too enjoy vision boards, but make your vision board, and then it's up there, and just like almost cover it up. Like, don't even look at it. I know they say fixate on your goals, but I think for you, it's damaging your mindset at this point. Just focus on what you need to do. So you want to be the best, the best actress. You want to win your Tony, your Emmy, your Grammy. Fine, whatever. Focus on working on the one song you need to, or focus on that one audition you're going to. Don't look past that. Don't worry about, am I going to get this? Am I not going to get this? Are they going to like the song? Are they not going to like the song? Like, stop thinking so much. Just do the one thing. Just do it. The one thing. I think part of it is also you need to just do it. That's something else. You spend a lot of time thinking, a lot of time theorizing. You need to just do it, okay? Pile 3, I relate heavy. Don't worry. I'm right there with you, baby. I think way more than I do. But I think for you to get where you belong, where I think you already know, you just got to focus on this. It's going to help. You have to focus on the step, and it's going to help your anxiety. I'm being drawn to the why it helps. It helps because you're not so worried. And it's funny because worry doesn't change anything. You know, we have the Three of Wands in reverse. But before I get into that, I want to note for you, Pile, and I have this card coming out too, which I'll flip in a second. I want to note for you, Pile 3, that worry does not change something, okay? If you're going to die tomorrow, this is morbid, but and please don't take this too super personally, okay? But if you're going to die tomorrow, you're going to die tomorrow, okay? What is worrying about you going to die fixing? You know, you're not going to think your way out of it. If you are meant to die, or if you're meant to become famous in a sense, not that you don't have to put in work, but just that, like, if it's meant to happen, it will. And I think that's a level of trust, spirit, and where you belong needs you to have, okay? The when was the most important question for you. Interesting, because for pile 1 it was the who, for pile 2 it was the where, and for you it's the when. It's gonna happen, okay? Relax. If it was always gonna happen, it's gonna happen. That doesn't mean get complacent and lazy. That just means one step at a time, okay? Moving on. We have the Three of Wands in reverse. Yeah, grow it. I feel like you gotta grow it. It comes from the inside out. You're very intelligent. You're very intellectual, pile 3. It's interesting. I do think you have the ability to do multiple things at once, hence the dilettante. You know, you have to, you can, look at this. She's got like 6 hands. Okay, you have the ability to do multiple things at once. And I think you will be feeding more than one project at once. But it's like when you're working on something, just work on that one thing. I feel another example here to give you for guidance is, for me personally, I struggle with this too. And I like to just focus on something for 30 minutes. Okay, set a timer for 30 minutes and just focus on that thing. So say you have to finish this assignment for math. You may finish it, you may not. Don't worry about if you're going to finish it. Just know that you have to work on it. Set your timer for 30 minutes. Just think about math. Don't think about Spanish. Don't think about French. Don't think about whatever other course you have. Don't think about your boyfriend, your ex-boyfriend, your mom. Focus on math. 30 minutes, okay? Timing may be something, because time is big for this pile. So timers may be something that's very helpful to you. Just putting on a timer, something to keep you in bay, you know, because you only have to focus on it for so long, and then just letting yourself do that. Yeah. And this will help because these things are going to grow. Look at this. Okay, I feel like you're the type to wake up to success and not even know you got there. Pile 3. So success is going, yep, I hear this. Oof, I feel it. I have shivers. Success is going to come when you least expect it. So stop trying to plan for it, okay? Success is going to come when you're just doing it, when you're putting in the work, when you're, you know, making those videos or that artwork or writing that book. It's going to come when you just put it out. Like, you don't have to do, it's not that you don't have to do so much, but in essence, you don't. Really, pile number 3, you just keep putting in your work every day. I think with the Three of Wands expansion isn't always, I think for some reason it's coming to my mind video games. And you know how you have a video game and then you have an expansion pack that adds to the world? It's like you already have your base world. You just have to do a little bit. Like, you just have to add a little bit and then poof, you know, it's way better or way worse. And so this helps because you need to know that you're going to be on top. With all your little hands, your 6 hands. Your 6 hands, pile number 3. You're doing so much at once. Maybe part of this is a lot of you may be trying to build multiple income streams. I get that. And so you'll have money coming in from multiple places. So that may be something else. Yeah, and you know what else this reminds me of? The goddess Kali. Kali? Is it Kali? I feel like it's Kali, not Kali. Kali sounds weird. And guess what Kali, why am I saying Kali? Kali, I will put a picture here. She is the goddess of time, change, creation, destruction, and power. Okay, so, she's supreme of all powers. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that, first of all, time is very important. You're very attached to it, but you have the ultimate... Okay, so it says... I'm on the Wikipedia page. I'll maybe put the link in the description because I'm not well versed in the Hindu goddesses and gods, but she is the ultimate manifestation of oh God, I'm butchering this. I'm so sorry for anyone who studies Hinduism and is into the art and the religion, because I'm butchering this right now. I apologize to you. But Shakti, and the mother of all living beings. She destroys the evil in order to protect the innocent. Over time, Kali has been worshipped by devotional movements and tantric sects variously as the Divine Mother. So, yeah, you're a manifest magnet, pile 3. So let's look at where you belong now, because I feel like we've gotten a lot into the when and why it'll help. Maybe because you already know where you belong, but let's look at what you're going to be doing. And it's funny because I had to go and research this, and I literally researched it. You may be very big researchers, okay? That might be part of it, is like a thought will come in your mind. Relatable, hashtag relatable for me. A thought will come in your mind and you just have to go research it. You're like, I gotta know what this thing means. It's like, no, don't worry about that. Just focus on whatever you're doing at the time. So, whoa. Okay, we have counseling. Again, that was also in the thing for, I hope I'm saying it right, Kali or Kali. She destroys the evil in order to protect the innocent. Interesting. I feel you are a voice for the innocent. Yeah. Something about refugees too. So maybe you have a weakness, or you are a refugee, or you have a deep feeling for people who are displaced from their home. But I feel that. Nutrition. And we have let go. Okay. And on the bottom of the deck, you did have spiritual teacher and strength. Okay. So, let's put this here. With nutrition, a lot of you maybe you have a lot of energy, so maybe I do feel maybe you've wanted to be a chef or do something with cooking, or cooking is something that's going to be very big in your life. I also think personally you having nutrition is very important, but if you've ever thought about maybe starting a blog about different recipes you have, I think specifically from your culture, whatever culture you're in, might be worth looking into. Again, cooking is an art, and we said that you really like the arts. So cooking, and even cooking, I think it's funny because it relates back to this 8 of Pentacles, where you have to focus on one thing at a time. Like, you can't, running a kitchen, you can't do everything yourself. That's why in kitchens that are for restaurants, you know, they have a sous chef. They have all these different people because you can't do everything yourself. I think that's part of it, is you have to accept there are certain things you can't do yourself, but also take it one step at a time. If you are a chef who works by yourself, oftentimes it will take you the whole day to cook because you have to prep the meat, you know, prime the meat, prep the vegetables. And so it's like, you gotta take it one step at a time. Or I also am just getting now that you do have to ask for help. So we have counseling. Maybe you've thought about becoming a counselor or honestly, even I hear tarot reader, because you have a way of speaking and communicating. You're a very good communicator that can help people to feel heard and understood and seen. I think you're good at making people feel seen, heard, and understood. It's a talent of yours. And that might be something else somewhere in that field. And then we have let go. Yeah. I don't know. I get for you, I also get that Tame Impala song, The Less I Know, The Better. I feel like that's you. Like, you don't need to know that much. You don't need to do that much. It all exists in you. It's literally inherent in you. You don't have to work so hard. It's so interesting. I always have one of these piles where I'm like, you don't have to do that much, you know? And I feel like it's a pile who probably thinks the most and works the hardest, and that's why their challenge is to actually do less, because they're, I don't know, you're operating from this anxiety or fear that you're not doing enough or you're not enough, and that's an absolute lie. You absolutely are enough. Okay, and you have the Leo. That makes sense. Yeah, pile 3, you naturally shine. Okay, you have charisma. And so, how do I put this? The main question we were asking here is where you belong. And you've been watching now for 16 minutes, and I don't even think I've addressed it, but because I feel like I got into the when of it, and we took a lot of turns, which is fine. If you follow along this long, then obviously it was for you. But you have the Lover and Leo. Where you belong is anywhere you go, because you're the place you belong, pile 3. Does that make sense? Some people need a place. Some people need friends. You don't need any of that, pile 3. You are the place. Whoa. I got shivers. That's like deep. But you are the place, pile 3. Where you belong is wherever you go. It's less where you belong, more who belongs with you. You know, it's not a matter of where do I need to go. It's what needs to come to me for assistance, you know, or help. Like, what can I provide the world? You have a lot to give. I mean that to say you have a lot to give. So anything else about because I mean, we see counseling, that's where you belong, with nutrition, helping people, really. Helping people and yourself in whatever way, which could be through cooking. Again, I do feel blogs, stuff like that, but counseling, and these could be anywhere, or in any of the arts. I mean, really, pile 3, you could be anywhere. That's the truth of it. Where you belong is wherever you want to be, because you can be anywhere. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, but I do feel particularly you belong, you can be anywhere, but you'll want to be somewhere where you can, I do feel like you want to help people still. Like, no matter what art you do or whatever you're doing, you want to help people. And I hear you want to help right the wrongs that have been done to people, or by people, or around people. So, yeah, therapist may be a big one. Maybe you're into mental health and you've considered going towards a path like that, or even something like spirituality, because you did have spiritual teacher on the bottom of the deck. You could be doing something like this, pick a card readings, but you're going to counsel people. You're going to help people in some way. And I think you belong there just because you shine so bright. You got a lot of light to you, pile number 3, and you're very, again, all of your gifts are very natural. You do have a connection to goddesses and gods, I feel like. So your power is very inherent. It's not really, you take it with you wherever you go. Does that make sense? You take it with you wherever you go. And it's not, you belong wherever you want to be. And I know that's hard to hear, because that might make you even more anxious, where you're like, well, that doesn't help. You know, I could be anywhere, then where am I supposed to be? But truthfully, pile 3, I feel like you should just go wherever you're called, because you'll get calls to go places. Yeah, but specifically for Taurus and Leo, based on this book, which I've opened up again, and look at me, I'm consulting a book a lot, so I feel like I've consulted the internet, books. You're very much a researcher, but 2 places that came out were Vegas, Rio de Janeiro, and then the other one that came out was like Rome. I think you want places that have a lot of history, a lot where you can learn more. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else for where pile number 3 belongs? I feel like this reading was all over the place, but I feel like that's also because you're all over the place, pile number 3. Yeah. You have frantic energy. I told you the most important question to you was the when of it. You gotta just chill out, okay? You belong, it's not that you belong in solitude, but you just belong working on wherever you can work. Like, wherever you can work and get some peace. And I feel like that can be where you're even at right now. You're fine. Like, you don't need to go somewhere. You don't need to go somewhere. You don't need to be something. You're fine, pile 3. A lot of the problems that exist for you exist in your mind. Not to say they can't be real, but it feels like a lot of them exist in your mind. And then we have the answers you need are coming. Yeah, so for a lot of you, there is somewhere you're going to go next, but it's not being revealed to me. Okay? And that's fine. But know that you are the place. I just keep hearing that. You are the place. So just keep putting in the work. You're on, I feel you are on the path. You're not on the wrong path to get to where you want to belong, or to where you belong and where you want to belong. But the point is that you have so much anxiety about it. It's not that you're not going to get there because of it, but it's just like, why stress yourself when you know the end result? It's as if, again, it's like, if you know you're going to win a Mercedes tomorrow, okay? Just an example. If you know you're going to win a Mercedes tomorrow, why stress about it? Like, why stress about getting it? Why stress about not getting it? Why stress about, like, all the logistics if you have to pay taxes? Like, don't, just chill out. Like, just accept the gift that's coming. Just chill out. And you got to just chill out and keep working, though, pile 3. I feel that very strongly. Keep working. You're building towards something that's going to make you quite happy and quite successful. And honestly, I do feel a level of fame here. So even with the nutrition, if you're like a cook or something, there's just a level of fame that will accompany you in your life. Maybe that's what makes you nervous. You don't like fame or something, but sorry, pile 3, it's coming for you. whether you like it or not. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But keep working. Keep trying to be a fair person. Keep trying to not necessarily even right the wrongs, but be aware of the wrongs. And I think really it's like your awareness of the wrongs allows you to sympathize with people who experience or go through them. So, yeah. I hope that made sense. So, and I didn't even get any who. I don't even think we're gonna get any who, because I feel for you, pile 3, that spirit, the less you know, the better. Sorry. I know. You may love pick-a-card readings. You may click on these quite often looking for answers, and I feel like you're never going to get the answer you're looking for because it doesn't exist in a pick-a-card, unfortunately for you. It exists in the process of working. So just keep working. And I don't mean that like keep working and neglect yourself. I mean like just keep taking it one step at a time. These pick-a-cards are almost you jumping into your anxiety to try to get confirmation and answers, and you don't have to do that. Like focus on this 8 of Pentacles. Like focus on the task at hand. Just do that. I promise you, you'll get there. Like you don't have to worry so much, pile 3, my little beautiful babies, okay? And again, maybe think about carrying around some howlite, getting some howlite. You got the ambition, you got it all. Just have patience. It's coming, okay? That's all I see for you, pile 3. If you enjoyed this reading, comment down below if it resonated. If you are the little knowledge-driven worrywart I know you are, comment down below, and I will see you in the next one, okay? Bye. Okay, hello, pile 4, my final pile. If you chose this card and the tiger's eye, then this is going to be your reading. As I noted in the previous piles, hopefully, maybe I can't remember at this point, this is not unchallengeable, okay? This is where you belong, but it's by no means dogmatic, and by that I mean it is by no means unchangeable, unchallengeable. You control where you want to belong. If this doesn't resonate or you don't want to belong somewhere, you don't have to, okay? It's up to you. But let's get into your reading. So with the tiger's eye aids in confidence, vitality, inner strength, and you have the liberator right next to that, okay? I feel you are a powerhouse, pile number 4, powerhouse to the max, Prometheus, bringing the light to mankind. I definitely feel that from this image. Your light attributes are freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. Okay, so it's interesting because each pile has been a different thing, and I love it. For you, I feel like we want to look at career first. I think work is very important to you. I think you're a person, not that other things may be important to you too, because I'm also very drawn to the extra messages, but I think what you're working towards, you're a person with purpose, pile number 4. You're not mindless, you're not wandering, you don't give me wandering energy, you give me direct energy. I'm headed somewhere. I know where I'm headed. I feel like you're a leader. That's what it is. You give me leader energy, pile 4. Even if you don't feel that way, this is where you belong, okay? Because a lot of times the best leaders are people who don't necessarily want to be leaders, if you know what I'm saying. So I do feel like you are a leader. So let's see what about your, like, work? Okay, they got that card. We have the 5 of Pentacles. Okay. We're going to get a look at some careers here. So, career for pile number 4. Okay. So, I'm getting this strong sense that you're not where you want to be right now. Nope. Okay. A lot of you may be students right now, like physically you're in school, you're younger, you could be under the age of 18, but it really doesn't matter your age, you could be 50. But whatever you're doing right now is not your, I don't feel like it's your life purpose. Yeah, okay. There could be a select few of you that it is, but that would be a very, like, most of you watching this is not, you're not working on your life purpose. You're like, shacking along. I feel like you're this injured man, and I'm not saying that's funny, but it's like you're really struggling to get to where you belong. And I think that's because you think it's a place. And I don't know, I'm kind of feeling similar to pile 3. You think it's something you have to get to, but it's you doing you. Does that make sense, pile 4? So it's kind of similar to pile 3, but it's a little different. For you, it's like you think you have to, I feel like you're someone who's playing themselves small. And Yeah. Oh, my ear's ringing. Okay, yeah, you're playing yourself small right now. Whatever you're doing, whatever boss you're under, whatever job you're working, however you're going about your process right now, even if you're your own business creator and you are on your life path, you're playing, I hear this, you're playing too small, okay, pile 4? You're undervaluing yourself. One of the things of this Liberator card, releasing negative thought patterns. And I don't know why you're doing this. Part of this, let's read your shadow attributes. So your shadow attribute is imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. So I don't know if you have a fear of your own power, pile 4. I kind of get that sense. Or a fear of evil or becoming evil or being domineering or getting very aggressive because you have a natural aggressive energy that I think sometimes, or maybe you even have like anger and you're afraid you could get lost to it. That's just for some of you. I feel like for not all of you that part will resonate, but some of you feel really meek inside. But truth is, you have a lion in you. That's what I hear. You have a lion in you. You have a lot of strength in you. And what you're doing is not utilizing that strength. You're playing it small. That's what I hear. So a lot of you, getting shivers. A lot of you may need to go back to school to get to where you want to go. And I'm hearing it's time. It's time for you to do that. And so for some of you who are older, it may be that you feel, I get that with this 5 of Pentacles, you may feel like you're too old to go back or to try again, but you're not. That's another negative thought pattern you have to overcome. Yeah, negative thoughts are something you have to struggle with a lot. I think particularly self-criticism. You make yourself small. Like no one makes you small but you. And yeah, I don't know, you have a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge, but I do think that you will have to go to school for something or learn for something. Again, it doesn't have to be, when I say school, y'all, I don't mean it like you have to go to a university, okay? Let's get this right. It could just be you need to take a course at a university. For instance, maybe you want to become an accountant. This is just for example. You want to become an accountant, but you don't know anything about bookkeeping. Yes, you could take a bookkeeping course online, that's an option, or you could take a bookkeeping course at your local community college. Like, it's not necessarily that you have to go get a degree, or you have to go do this, go to school full time, or anything like that. It's just like, you have to study a little bit, like, you have to learn. You have to be a learner, that's what it is, you have to learn, that's what it is, and you may be someone who's put family first, or, particularly I feel like I have a lot of moms in this pile for some reason. You could be a dad too, though, like parents in this pile where you put your kids first or other people first. And yeah, I'm being drawn to the let go. Like, it's time to let that go. Like, your kids are grown, your kids can figure out their own life, or if they're not, even if they're not grown, it's like they can figure out their own life, you know? Like, you don't have to do as much as you do, I guess is what I'm hearing. You don't have to do as much as you do. You're playing it small. Yeah. I think it makes you nervous because to leave where you're at or what you're doing. And again, I was first drawn to career for you, pile number 4. So it feels like you're not working something you enjoy, which is why I got this 5 of Pentacles and I had to give you career first. It is so interesting to me what parts I have to start readings with because it's very, to me, it gives a clear indication of what each pile is struggling with the most, I guess. For you, it's what you work. It's your career. You're not happy in it. And you don't have to be not happy. You know, and I don't mean that because you can leave it. That's the point, is like you can leave anywhere and freeing yourself from outmoded beliefs. Maybe your parents made you, this is something else. This may be a generational thing. You know, a lot of parents used to believe that you work for a company. Let's just put it this way. Business in America used to be different, okay? And you used to be able to work for a company for 50 years and then retire and they pay you a nice pension. That is not the world we live in now, okay? This world requires the world is always changing and requires different things of people at different times. I think this is a time where what you're doing is no longer serving you, I guess, and so you have to let it go. And you have to trust that you're going somewhere. I think there's someone for you, obviously, too. Interesting, I think you belong with a partner. You may be someone who doesn't like being alone, but Spirit isn't going to leave you alone. Interesting. Yeah. Oh my god, that's so weird. I never even noticed this, but in each of these cards, we have no one. The only time you're by yourself is for this Liberator card, but here we have a man and a woman, we have a man and an owl, a woman and a dog, 2 animals, a wolf, you know, I don't know, a dog, and then a man and a woman. So, you may be someone who doesn't like to be alone, that might be part of your fear, but you have to let that go because you're never, yeah, okay, Spirit says very strongly, you're never going to be alone, we're never going to leave you alone, we're always going to have someone with you, okay, and so this may be an animal, it may be a person, but you're never going to be alone, okay? So don't be so afraid. Pile number 4. I feel that fear. So let's get a look at who. You're always going to have a community of sorts. As long as you, and I hear this is very specific, as long as you want one. If you close people off, people close you off. That's how it kind of works. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Spirit, if you didn't have someone, they would they would send you an animal to comfort you. Like they would send you a dog or a cat or something. Oof, yeah. Okay, and you have the 8 of Swords. So, career is very important to you. It's very clear her work is very important to you. I hear the only thing keeping you there is you. Let's see what else. Yeah, you have you see this? You have the potential to leave this crap situation at any point. Literally at any point. The only thing keeping you there is you. That's the truth of it. Yes, you may have to study a little bit. Yes, you may have to learn different new skills, become a beginner, but you're keeping you there. Your thoughts, your mental patterns are what's keeping you where you're at. And where you belong? Where you belong? Let's see. Yep. You belong in a place that celebrates you, not minimizes you. That's what I hear. The Queen of Wands is confidence. She is sure of herself, and even with this, your rock was Tiger's Eye, which is all about inner strength and confidence. The Queen of Wands is not afraid. The Queen of Wands is confident. The Queen of Wands gets what she wants, okay? And you need a place that celebrates you. That's what I feel. You need a place that celebrates your innovativeness, that celebrates how you are as an individual. And it's for you, but the more you hang on to what's not good for you, of course you're not going to get there. You know, you're not going to get there where you're at. You have to leave it. Let's see what else. Yeah, see, I think you've gotten very comfortable in your situation. That's something. And it's scary for you to leave it. So where you belong is somewhere where you feel valued. I don't know. The Queen of Wands is telling me you feel valued. You feel confident. You feel good. You're like, yeah, I have something to offer. It's not somewhere like this place you're playing small. You're being minimized. Wherever you're going, it will make you feel celebrated. And let's look at the where. Okay. I'm hearing self-employed for a lot of you. So a lot of you may be freelance, self-employed for a while. But also you may have your own business. I'm feeling that. Health fields may be something you want to look into. Any organization, really. I also feel nonprofits. So somewhere that is more, their value, this is what I'm feeling. Where is wherever place values align with yours. So you need to start going towards things that have the same base as you. Like, it's like if you're trying to, where you're at right now, it's like you're trying to make that. So for instance, if you're in a corporate job that just celebrates money, and you're not just about money, of course you're not going to feel like you fit in there because it's not meant for you. And so it's a place that appreciates your craft, what you can do. It appreciates your, I think, more holistic sense. I feel this is also someone who is sensitive, who has a lot of intuition. So you need somewhere that celebrates that. And let's see. I'm just a little bit about the who. Okay, and a lot of you, it's something to do with your ancestry or your family line. Yeah, I feel it has something to do with, let me move these over, 1 second here. I feel like it has something to do with your ancestry line, pile number 4. You have to be around people who, I don't know, it's like almost understand the same pain you've gone through. And I also feel like, yeah, I don't know. People like inspire you to hope. Or people who value the hope that you bring. So there's definitely a change that needs to take place for you, pile number 4. Let me ask for the small minority of you that are working their life purpose. Okay, for the small minority of you who are working your life purpose, keep going. I hear keep going. If they're making you feel like this Queen of Wands, like look at this woman. She's got 4 arms, she's got 2 boobs on the same side. I don't know, it's weird, but she's confident. The way she stands, her stance tells me everything. The look of her face tells me everything. She is someone who's got it, you know? Whatever it is, she's got it. And if your job is making you feel like that, great. That's a place for you. If you're feeling confident and good, that's the place for you. If you're not feeling that, if you're feeling small, if you're feeling undervalued and belittled, this is not the place for you. It's that simple. And I think you get caught up in like, whoa, where am I going to go? What's next? And I feel like you do need to take a course or something. Like there's something you have to research, or maybe it's just researching other jobs that might be in your interest or that value the skills that you've learned from this place. But there is somewhere else. There's always someone else, okay? This is an abundant planet, an abundant universe. Yes, there are finite sources, but there are not finite jobs in a sense. You can make a new job, for gosh sakes. You can make your own business. That might be something you want to look into. But there is always more, okay? And you thinking this is all that you're good enough for, or all you can have, is why you're in this. Okay, that's why you're in it. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like Spirit wanted you to have this message, Pile 4, because you're aware that you don't belong where you're at. For most of you, you're like waiting for someone to tell you that it's okay to go. And if you need me to be that person for you, then I'll say it. It's okay to go. Okay? It's okay to choose yourself. It's okay to choose your happiness. It's okay to choose yourself. I think that's really what it is. It's okay to choose you. That doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make you a selfish person. You're not going to burn in hell for choosing yourself, okay? Because let's be honest, this is already hell that we live in. Oh, jeez. I don't know how you guys tolerate me sometimes on these readings. Okay. Your commitment is being tested in reverse. That reversal seems intentional to me. Because I feel like what's being tested is it's not the good. So this card upright to me would indicate that you need to stick with what you're doing. Your commitment to what you enjoy doing is what's going to be tested. When it comes in reverse like this, feels like it's your commitment to your belittlement. This is so sad. But what's being tested right now is, are you willing to take a chance? Are you willing to bet on yourself? Yeah. Oof. Are you willing to let go of what's not good for you to get something better? Are you willing to do that? And are you willing to let go of security for the choice of something better where you feel good about yourself? Are you willing to let go of releasing these negative thought patterns, freeing yourself? Are you willing to free yourself? You have the liberator. And I think this is important because no one frees you but you. You'll never be alone. I've said that because some of you may struggle with that idea of abandonment or being alone. You're not going to be alone, okay? Spirit will always have someone for you, an animal, a person, but no one can take the chains off of you but you because they're self-inflicted. That's what you have to understand, Pile 4. No one is keeping you in that job. No one is keeping you in the same spot except you. Now, yes, there are times when someone is literally holding you down, like straight up tackling you to the ground. But those instances are very much rare nowadays. For the most part, when you feel chained somewhere, you are what's keeping yourself there. And for a lot of reasons that don't always legitimately make sense at the time. You know, maybe it's fear. Maybe it is, a lot of times it's fear. A lot of times you're afraid to let go of your security. You've been taught that this is all you're good enough for. You've been taught that this is all you deserve. All of these mentalities that aren't true. And the only one who can break them is you, because like no one can get in your head really but you. You know, no one can F you up more than you can. That's the truth. That's the sad reality of it, is that no one can do more damage to you than you. Like, it's crazy because when something terrible happens, you know how you replay it in your mind? After that terrible thing happened, no one is making you think about it again, and yet you do. And so it's like you turn against yourself. And I'm not putting this, let me be very clear with you, Pile 4. I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying this is all your fault. You're the reason that your life is shitty. Okay, I'm not blaming you. Take all of the blame out, because there is no blame. All of this, I'm going to say, you know, it probably had to happen for a reason. There's something here. There was probably a lot of good out of you staying where you stayed, but at this point, at this moment that you're watching this, at this moment that you're here on this pick a card, wondering where you belong, your answer is a place where you feel good about yourself. And if you're constantly belittling yourself by staying in a situation that's not that because you're afraid, then yeah, you're never going to get there. Wow, I feel for you, Pile 4, okay? I'm not telling you, once again, I said at the beginning of this reading, this is not an end-all, be-all, okay? I'm not telling you, like, go in tomorrow and curse your boss out and quit your job, but I'm just saying, like, part of leaving, it doesn't have to be extreme. You don't have to just all of a sudden, you know, at the drop of a hat, go quit your job and decide to go freelance. I mean, you can, heck, if you feel inclined to, go for it. But for a lot of you, it's something as simple as, okay, I don't like this. I want to change my life. Let me take a course on coding so that way I can learn coding so I have this skill, this certificate, and then I can go somewhere else where they'll use that skill. You know? That's what it's asking, because I'm hearing it's time. It's time for you to take that step, and it doesn't have to be a large one. I think that's what sometimes people get mixed up, and they think I have to do all this crazy stuff. Like, no, just one course, and all it requires maybe is 1 hour in an evening, 5 days a week. Okay, I mean, the amount of time you spent torturing yourself over the situation you're in is much longer than the 1 hour course, 1 hour a day, 5 day a week course you're going to take on Udemy or wherever you take it. And, you know, Udemy courses for like coding or copywriting or other things like that are only like $15. Okay, you can spare $15. You spent $15 on a meal. You spent $15 on diapers. Like, I think you have $15. And even if you just ask someone, okay, if you really like cannot spare $15, I don't know your financial predicament, maybe you don't have internet, ask a neighbor, ask a friend, be like, hey, can you spot me $15? You know, I think I can, like, take a bet on yourself. That's what I hear, bet on yourself. And you've never done that before, pile 4. You've always put your chips in other people's baskets. Stop doing that. Put them in your own. You deserve it. Be selfish. I think that's what you need to hear. Be selfish. And see how much more you can get out of life, because life has so much more it wants to offer you. And the only one to take it. Like, life can offer you everything, but if you don't take it, then it'll never be yours. You know? I'm sorry to get all philosophical on you, pile 4. Yeah, so I guess getting back to where you belong, I just keep being drawn to this Queen of Wands. She is the pinnacle of where you belong. You belong in a place where you're appreciated, where you're attractive, where you're well-liked, where people value everything that you are, because I promise you, no matter what your skills and talents are, no matter how small you think you are, you have a value to this world. Please repeat it to yourself. Please say it in the mirror daily that I have value, because you do, okay? And there's somewhere in this world that needs people like you. And no matter how much you may think otherwise, no matter how much you may try and make it seem as if you're useless or you don't have anything to offer, or you're not good enough, or this is all you deserve, your skills, who you are is an asset somewhere. I promise you. And you just have to find that place. And part of that may be studying and researching. And then part of that may also be figuring out who you are and what your strengths are, so that way you can figure out where you belong, okay? But there is a place for you. And once again, I want to promise you that you'll never be alone, because, you know, whether it's spirit, God, whoever you want to believe in, or even an actual animal, I feel like spirit is very specific with you. Yeah, I get shivers where they kind of like, they'll give you animals or people. They'll give you like something so you're never actually like alone. You know, you're not ever going to be physically actually alone. Like, they'll always have something for you. So you don't need to be afraid of that. Okay? Yeah. Don't let your pride get in the way. Don't let your small... And in your case, you have a big... Let's think about the lion. Like, the lion can be blinded by your own pride. It's like your pride in staying small and thinking this is all you're good for is as bad as your pride of thinking that you're worth more than everyone else in the world. You know, you gotta free yourself from those kind of mentalities. Get rid of those negative thought patterns. Pile number 4. But yeah, that is all I see for you. I hope you know that you have value, that like nothing about this is your fault. Please don't click off of this reading thinking you're a crappy person or I just want to crap on you, because that is not at all what I do these readings for. It is to guide you to make better decisions so you can live the life that you want to live, so that you can be happy, because you deserve to be happy. You may not think you do. You may not think you deserve anything in this world, but you do, okay? And this world is just waiting for you to take it. Like I said, I feel like there's a platter in front of you of gold, of grapes, of delicious food, and all you have to do is take it. And that involves a risk a little bit, you know? It involves, like, taking a chance on you. So, yeah. If you enjoyed this reading, comment down below if it resonated. I hope you build some confidence. You take that course, you do whatever studying, researching to get out of that new job. Take this as your indicator that maybe you should be looking on Indeed or whatever job board for something different that really more resonates with your soul, so that way you can have work that actually values you and adds to your life instead of minimizes. And I will see you in the next one, pile 4. Bye.